Hi, Rich Garuba for bowlingball.com. Spares go down, your bowling average goes up. I kind of like that catchy little phrase because I really believe if you're a new bowler or you're an experienced bowler but your average isn't nearly as high as you want it to be, that spares are your friend, and I challenge you, I dare you in fact, to become a great spare shooter. And the way to begin doing that is, first of all, get yourself a system of shooting spares you can rely on. And the best way to identify the best system for you based on the lane conditions where you normally bowl would be to talk to your professional coach, your bowling instructor. And if you don't have one, take a lesson. Work on your spare shooting. You should do it one time. Invest a little money in your physical game and your spare shooting. You invest money in the products that you buy in order to bowl, shoes and bags and bowling balls, accessories, but seldom bowlers invest in coaching, and I really believe that will help you. Okay, back to the spares. Once you dedicate a certain amount of time to identifying your own spare system, dedicate a certain amount of time to practicing it. And you can use your money wisely when you go to the practice lane and you pay for some games of practice bowling. Just work on all the spare combinations. Don't worry about just lining up to throw strikes and then only making an adjustment for a spare if you don't happen to strike. Work on your hitting the certain key pin in your spare combinations, making the adjustment off your strike line or whatever system that you use for the spares. We recommend you get a ball for spare shooting that can control the amount of hook, like a plastic ball or a regular urethane entry-level product, something that won't hook a lot. So particularly when you go for a difficult 10-pin spare if you're right-handed, or the 7-pin if you're left-handed, because the ball hits the dry part of the lane and can hook away, and it's dangerous to throw too wide of an angle. It would fall into the channel. So spare balls are very helpful, but you don't want to miss routine spares because you have to get a double to make up for every spare that you miss. If you want your average to go up, become a good spare shooter. Challenge yourself, work on it. Some of the other things you can do when you're on the practice line is make sure when you make your adjustment across the approach and reposition your feet for a spare, and you pick your new sighting target, the lane is going to look a little different to you because you're going to have a different visual perspective from where you line up for your strikes, where you see the lane more comfortably and more frequently. And because of this, some bowlers will actually wander or drift away from their starting position, and they don't slide at the foul line on a corresponding board that they set out to arrive at. And if you move away, then the target you pick effectively moves, and it might be the wrong target to pick up the spare. So you want to try to work on your footwork, the pattern that you walk to the foul line, to make sure, regardless if you move to the extreme edges of the approach, walk your lines. Work on that. Practice it. Get comfortable. Make sure you position your hip and shoulder a little bit influenced toward the spare, and you have to allow for the oil in the lane, in the middle of the lane, for example, on those house conditions. So all those things are important when you're shooting spares. But if you take pride in your spare shooting and you work real hard at it, you get very good at your system. And anybody can do it if you put some work into it. And personally, I think you should work harder on your spares than on your strike delivery, because if you become accurate at spares, your accuracy on your strikes is going to improve. And what do you think is going to happen to your bowling scores? They're going to go up. Anyway, hope some of these tips help you. Get out there and practice on your spares. Thank you.